Well, hello there. Welcome back. This is Ruben with the CO16 and Boomer Reboot podcast. Before we go any further, let me ask you something. If you like what you hear, go ahead and give us a comment or take a screenshot. Go ahead and put it in our social media pages or in yours and give us the hashtag of CO60. Today we're going to talk about how I struggled when I was in my mid-40s, early mid-40s. That was 15 years ago. Just turned six. I'm actually thinking I turned 61 this year. But how I struggled then and what I did that changed my entire life. We'll talk about that.
All right, so here's the big question. How do adults like us reboot our economies? Well, there's currently a $162 billion industry of people consuming, of all things, online courses because they want to shortpath their learning curves. So what does that mean for us? Well, what if you could take and turn your knowledge, your passions, your skills, and your experiences, all that stuff that you've accumulated through the years, and create your very own online signature course with the stuff that you already know, and in the process, create a brand new income stream from anywhere in the world without all the tech overwhelm or having to sell your soul. And here's perhaps the bigger question. How would your life change? You think about that. My name is Ruben, and that's what this podcast is all about.
Well, welcome back. Listen, in my mid-40s, early in my 40s, I came back to the United States. I lived overseas. I'm going to tell you a quick story of what happened. As I relocated back to the United States, I went to a job fair. Overseas, I owned some restaurants. I came to the United States. I went to a job fair, and I got recruited immediately by a corporate office in Irvine, California, to run some of their corporate restaurants. I did well with them, but working the restaurant business as a general manager is a 10, 12, 15-hour-a-day job. I did not want that anymore. So I was going through what most people call midlife crisis. I was looking for a new identity, and I was looking for a new way to provide for my family that I was not going to be a slave to the business. So I started going to school. So now on top of the 12 to 14 hours a day that I was going to school, going to work, I also had to add school time to that and another 4 hours a day. Well, lo and behold, it was like just, 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day that I was away from home. This was in LA, California, about 20 years ago. So what happened was that I started to look for another way to generate an income, something that would replace what I was making in the restaurant industry, and something that would give me, not tie me for 12 to 14 hours a day. And in that process, as I was going to school, I shared some of the information that I was learning with some peers, some people on the internet. Back then, chat rooms were not what they are today. They were just black screens with white letters. And some people asked me to share what I knew with them. And that is when I discovered that there was a better way of generating income, and it was sharing my knowledge with other people. And this is what happened. Somebody asked me for information. I said it was too big of a file for me to send it over, and they said, "Can you burn a CD?" I had no clue how to burn a CD. That was one of the things that I thought it was like a flashlight or, a lighter or something, I had no clue. So I asked somebody. That person became my mentor. He showed me, it was another tech. He showed me how to burn a CD, how to make a copy of the CD. Now, I made a mistake. It was an honest mistake. And when I went onto eBay, which was only a couple of years old, PayPal wasn't even connected to eBay back then, and I listed it, and I said, just help me pay for the postage. I think it was $2-3 or something like that I put on there, plus the CD cost me $1. And I said I only had one. In theory and in reality, yes, I only had one CD. I only made one, but I could make multiple copies of that same file. That I did not know. Well, I did know how to do it, but I did not post that on there that I had more copies. Well, that one CD, it generated a bidding where more people wanted it. All the people wanted the same content, and that one CD sold for $182.50. I went back and I told my friend, "Hey, wow!" And I was totally blown away. It was 20 years ago, and $182 for one CD of content, knowledge, things that I had learned that I put in a CD that I shared with somebody else. And then he said, "Did you contact the other people?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, legally, you can contact the other people and give them a copy of the CD for their last bid price." And I did that. And I contacted 138, 132, 127, and I said, "Do you want a copy for your last bid price?" They all said yes. So I sent them all a copy of that DVD. Now, what ended up happening was that That one CD, DVD at that time generated $2,500 in sales. That was 20 years ago. That changed my life. That was almost my salary 20 years ago as a restaurant general manager, minus the bonuses. And of course, this I did in just a couple of hours. And I said, dude, this is it. So what I did was I made a career change. And since then, I have been on the internet helping people take their knowledge or their ideas and repackage it so that we can get it out into the marketplace. I've been doing this from stages all over the world, and I want to show you how to do it. It's really 3 simple steps. You have the conception of your idea. This is what it is that you want to offer. And there are different ways that you can go about looking to see if that is a good feasible idea. Are people actually buying something similar, or do you have something that's just a little bit different or something that it already exists? Let me give you an example. You don't have to create anything new. How about Excel? It's a product manufactured, part of the Office suite manufactured by Microsoft. It's software. There are people today still creating tutorials on how to use Excel and making 6 and 7 figures annually, because it's a new person, it is a new voice, it is somebody who's going to connect with that person that may not connect with a corporate tutorial. So there are people still today creating tutorials on Excel, and they're doing 6 and 7 figures. Maybe you know a little bit about that. Maybe you know something about horseback riding. Maybe you know something about dog training. Maybe you know something. Do you have an idea, and that you can just need a little bit of coaching on how to package it so that you can get it out to the market? So we have that. We have the conception of the idea. Then we have the creation. How are we going to package that to get it out to the marketplace? And then, of course, we got the conversion. And that's the last step. And the conversion is where we actually take it to the marketplace and we learn how to convert traffic into sales so that we can generate an income. And then we look at the conversion ratio. This is 1 to 2. We put $1 in, we get 2 out, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Because if that is the case, then we get to decide how much more do we need to invest into additional traffic sources so that we can increment our sales, and then we can go into 6 and 7 figure business. It's not that hard if you know what you're doing. It is almost impossible if you don't. So that's why being guided in the whole process of the creation of launching a program is essential. And listen, I want you to subscribe to our podcast. They're probably watching this video in YouTube. There's a button over here for you to go ahead and hit to subscribe, and that little bell, hit that little bell too, because that's going to let you know when there's a new video coming up. And in upcoming videos, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be giving you more information, more content that's going to help you take your ideas to the marketplace and reignite your life. I'll talk to you later. You think about that.